Okay, so let's get started for the second problem. Okay, so now we're still doing mass to mass. Well, how can you tell? Because this is mass, that's your given, and then your unknown will be also mass. So again, let's go ahead and make sure we do our gummer. Okay, it's GUMM. Now, keep in mind, since we have two masses, we're going to need two molar masses. Okay, and I'll explain that more in detail in a little bit. So, mole ratio. Okay, so that is gummer. Okay, now we're going to start with our given. Okay, so if you read the problem, what mass of sodium chloride is produced when chlorine gas reacts with 0.29 grams of sodium iodide? So this one right here, that's your given number. So it will be your 0.29 grams, and it will be of sodium, that's Na, and iodide is with an I. So sodium iodide, right? So where in here is sodium iodide? As you see it, this is the only one that has NaI, right? So we're going to start in here. Okay, we're going to use that one. Okay, and then your unknown is what mass of sodium chloride. So mass of sodium chloride will be this. So that means the grams, which is a mass of sodium chloride. So we're going to go from here to here. So in reality, we're just going to use those two, okay, and that's it. Now we're going to go ahead and go into molar mass. The molar mass, you're going to get the molar mass of which compound or element is based on your given and unknown. So you're given whoever has mass, like this is grams and this is grams, those are the two elements or compounds, but both of them are compounds that you need to get the molar mass. Okay, so let's start with our sodium iodide. So sodium iodide, okay, it would be the grams, right? It would be sodium. We will start with our periodic table, of course. And sodium, it's only, now this is only one, this is only one. So sodium has 22.990. Sodium 22.990. Now, since it's only one, we don't need to multiply. We know that this is already one of them. Okay, and now the next one is iodide. Iodide will be 126.904. So 126.904. Okay, and basically you just add them both because again it's just one and one. Okay, so it will be 22.990 plus 126.904. That equals to 149.894. Okay, now let's look at the other molar mass, which is sodium chloride. So the grams, now again, this is grams of sodium iodide. Okay, that's important. Okay, now keep in mind that this equals to 1 mole, right? 1 mole. Okay, now the next one. The next one is the sodium chloride. Okay, now the good thing is that it's just one and one. So we just have to add them just like this one because it's one and one. So sodium again would be 22.990, and then plus chloride would be 35.453. 35.453 grams. So you add them up, 22.990 plus 35.453, that equals to 58.443. So that is 58.443 grams of sodium chloride. Okay, so again, both of these, each of them they equal to 1 mole. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the mole ratio. Okay, the mole ratio is going to be, if you guys remember, there's a number on the top, okay, and there's a number in the bottom. This number is based on the equation, the coefficient, which is one of the big numbers, okay, the big ones. Okay, and then your unknown is going to be on the top, and your given is going to be on the bottom. Okay, it's U over G. That means the compound or element. Okay, the numbers from the equation, the big one, the coefficient, and the U will be the compound or the element. Okay, so let's go ahead. So keep in mind that it's mole over mole. Okay, because this is a mole ratio. So this is where you're gonna be converting it from sodium iodide to sodium chloride, but you need the number in the front to be able to convert it. Okay, so like the unknown would be sodium chloride, so it would be sodium chloride, and then the given is sodium iodide. Okay, and then the sodium chloride, you're gonna look up here. That's a 2, so you put a 2 in the front. Sodium iodide is a 2 as well. Okay. Okay. So anyways, let's go ahead and start setting it up. Okay. We start setting it up because we need several spaces. We need the given space. The unknown is just last, so really we don't really put it in there, not really. But given is the first one, and then you're going to need 2 spaces for molar mass and then 1 for mole ratio. Okay, because there's 2 molar masses, so that means you need 4 spaces. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, and that will be the last one. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom this in. Okay, and we're going to start always. You always start with your given number. No matter what, you always start with that. So always start with your given. Okay, keep in mind that there's nothing down here, or you could just put a 1. Okay, so it will be 0.29 grams of sodium iodide. Okay. Okay. So you see how this right here is grams of sodium iodide? Then that's the same thing that needs to go here. That is grams of sodium iodide. So that's where you need to start looking at your molar mass and mole ratio. Now, the unknown, we don't use it in between. Usually that's last, and just to check your answer. Okay? So in here, grams of sodium iodide, you would see here grams of sodium iodide or grams of sodium. That's the number you put. Okay? So that will be 149.894. I hope you guys could see that. But all I'm doing is putting this one in here. Now that equals to 1 mole, right? So the 1 mole goes on the top. 1 mole of sodium iodide. Okay, so we already converted from grams of sodium iodide to moles of sodium iodide. So since this right here is moles of iodide, then this one goes mole of sodium iodide. So that means, where is my moles of sodium iodide? At the bottom. Well, it's right here, mole of sodium iodide. You see that? So that means this whole thing goes in here. Okay, so that's a 2. Okay, and now I'm finally converted it to 2 moles of sodium chloride. Because first you have to do the mole ratio. Okay, you have to convert it from sodium iodide to sodium chloride, and then you target the last one, which is the molar mass. Okay, but you gotta make sure you convert it from sodium iodide to sodium chloride. Okay, so now one way to check, of course, is to always check this. Okay, so you see how they're the same. Okay, and you can always check, of course, on your paper right here. So you see how it's grams of your given. Your given is sodium iodide. Okay, and then 1 mole, you see, and that's the molar mass of the given, which is sodium iodide. And then the moles of unknown, right? My unknown is sodium chloride. Okay, but it would be moles. Okay, and then the moles of given. Okay, and if you're not sure, this is just mole ratio. I mean, you know it's 2/2. Really, we just need this right here, 2 divided by 2. Simple as that. Okay? Okay, we're ready for the last one. And of course, you could easily check here. Oh, my 1 mole goes here on the bottom. So my 1 mole of unknown, my unknown is sodium chloride. Okay? Okay, so in here, obviously 1 mole will equal to this one, 58.443 grams of sodium chloride. Now, if you're not sure, you could always check. I give you this to check your answers. So this is molar mass of the unknown. So that will be your molar mass. That will be this one. You see that? Okay, and your unknown is sodium chloride. So sodium chloride will be that. You see that? Okay. So now we're ready to calculate. Keep in mind that the top, you just multiply really, because they're right next to each other. So you multiply the top, then you multiply the bottom, and then you divide it, and you should get an answer. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the division here to what it's equal, so you can see it step by step. So I'm going to start with 0. So first let's multiply the top part. 0.29 times 1 times 2 times 58.443 equals, oh, that's a big number, but it's 33.89. And I'm going to go ahead and stop at 7. I'll put 7, 897. Okay, now you don't have to, you could write the whole number if you want. It's up to you. There you go. Okay, now the next one. Again, you're going to multiply the bottom. So it's 149.894 times 2 times 1. Okay, equals to 299.788. Okay, okay, the next one. Okay, so now we already have the top and we already multiplied the bottom. Now you divide it. 33.897 divided by 299.788. That equals to 0.113. And you could just round it. Since 3, it's easy because there's a 0 next to it. I'll just stop at 3. It's fine. Okay, and of course, keep in mind what is the unit. It should be the last one on the top, which is your unknown. It's grams of sodium chloride. So that is your answer. That's your answer for this one. Okay, and of course, if it doesn't match exactly on your multiple choice there, all you have to do is find the one that is closest, and that should be your answer. Okay. If you have any other further questions, you could always email me, or if any concerns, just let me know. Have a good one, you guys.